Yeah, we're back.
Back to talk about some more stuff.
I guess it's another Pokemon video idea that Noah came up with because he's very passionate about this, as we discussed.
I have a lot of things I want to talk about. So
this is probably going to be a pretty controversial one.
It's gimmicks.
On the topic of gimmicks in Pokemon games.
Now, I know that's a very broad term. Something in that feels different. And
Like a gimmick is a specific new feature or that's designed to be marketable and showcase a new gameplay.
Sure. Yeah, gimmicks technically go all the way back to Generation 1.
I mean, I wouldn't really say Generation 1 had gimmicks on the virtue of being the first one.
Yeah, there was stuff like the Safari Zone and the Game Corner.
But those were also things that were carried into the future generations as kind of a standard for the games.
So, yeah, stuff from Gen 1 shouldn't... probably isn't... It shouldn't be... It probably isn't something that should... should be
it should be considered gimmicks.
Should be considered gimmicks. Gen 2...
Did you think about what you were going to say at all? Generation 2... Alright, now... Some gimmicks... Like, some of the earlier gimmicks ended up becoming mainstays and affecting the
part of the game.
And affecting the franchise in positive ways. Like, Gen 2's gimmicks... were the introduction of breeding and held items.
And genders, I guess.
I guess genders, too. But that kind of goes hand in hand with the breeding mechanics.
Yeah.
Breeding gave basically every Pokemon access to new moves. And the ability to obtain the pre-evolution of an evolved Pokemon that you caught.
Yeah.
It also came with the introduction of baby Pokemon, who in Generation 2 couldn't be found in the wild.
Yeah.
Well, and were only obtainable through breeding. Though later on the line of what was considered a baby Pokemon was a bit blurred. Basically, it's a Pokemon who's in the undiscovered egg group, who despite its evolved form or forms not being in the undiscovered egg group.
And they typically have very low stats.
Mm-hmm. Hello.
Oh. Okay. So, yeah, Generation 2, Gen 2's gimmick, it just became part of the... it just became part of the series.
Yeah.
It is...
And Generation 3 also had a couple of them.
I mean, there was double battles.
There were three main gimmicks I can think of in Generation 3. Two of which became series staples as well.
Yeah, double battles and
those being double battles and abilities.
And natures.
Right. But those were hardly an advertisable or major or mechanic that... Like, a lot of casual players don't really care about the natures and stuff.
Yeah, abilities and...
Mainly talking about abilities, talking about stuff which drastically affected the individual species of Pokemon. And gave a whole new layer of strategy to the game.
Yeah.
And double battles and abilities.
Yeah.
Notably, this game's Pikachu clones, Plusle and Minun, and utilize both of these gimmicks. When you use them in a double battle, their abilities boost each other's stats.
Thing is, double battles were rarely even part of the game. Out of Gen 3. You only had a few required ones.
Yeah, this is just Tate and Liza.
But I mean, would you call contests a gimmick?
I don't know. Display chat. Oh, thank you.
Oh, your videos, okay. The Rift Rocker.
You know, I actually had a Cloud Island of what Ethereal made at some point. But then my composer data corrupted and I lost the entire thing.
Okay. That's besides the point. That's not wrong with the video. Okay, so we were... So, yeah, would you consider contests a gimmick?
Yes.
Yeah.
Contests were another gimmick.
Again,
well, they didn't exactly become a series staple, only being featured in two other generations.
And then there's subsequent remakes.
And there's a very high likelihood that they'll only ever be featured in Generation 3 and 4 remakes.
Yeah,
We'll never get other new region with contests.
Yeah, there's... Could really go... we can really go without them. It's just a distraction, if anything.
And it's an entirely new gameplay style.
Well, that's really all that Gen 3 had.
Generation 4.
Generation 4 had
What gimmicks did Gen 4 actually have?
I mean, would you call the Poketch a gimmick?
I mean, yeah, I guess. The Gen 4 games heavily played with touchscreen mechanics.
Yeah. And you got a bunch of useless apps, pretty much useless apps to go with it.
Mm-hmm.
That like the alarm clock, the coin flip.
You know, I don't really think Gen 4 has anything that can truly be described as a gimmick, at least in the sense of something that affects battles.
Yeah.
It's like Gen 2's genders and held items, and Gen 3 these nature's hers double battles and abilities.
Yeah.
They did have the physical special split,
but
that was a balancing thing as opposed to a new mechanic.
Like that was just something. That was just more of a quality of life thing.
Where they reworked previous stuff.
Yeah, I can't really say Gen 4 actually had any gimmicks.
Looks like that.
Wait.
Gen 4 introduced tons of item-based form changes.
Item-based form changes. A lot.
If I recall, the only Pokemon previously to change forms was Cast Form.
Yeah, I think it was... Yeah, your fucking Charum,
Cast Form was the only form-changing Pokemon in Generation 3, and Gen 4 introduced a ton of those.
Yeah.
We had Charum, Rotom, Giratina, Shaman, and Arceus. There were quite a few.
Yeah, you call that... Yeah. Yeah, but that's really they were only really specific to some Pokemon.
Right. And this is one of those gimmicks that carries into every new generation. Every gen has at least some Pokemon that changes forms in some way.
Yeah.
Though I don't think Gen 6 had anything other than Furfrou.
That changed literally nothing. Anyways.
But to make a distinction, I'm not talking about Pokemon that have multiple static forms, like Unknown and Vivian. I'm talking about Pokemon that can switch between one form or in two different forms.
Yeah.
You can switch between multiple different forms.
Yeah.
You can't change Vivian through Unknowns.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's really all about it for Gen 4's gimmicks.
Gen 5 introduced two new types of battles. Those being triple and rotation battles.
Triple battles are exactly what they sound like.
There's a double battle, but with another Pokemon thrown in there. Rotation battles.
That's where you can call them gimmick. This is the definition of gimmicky.
You have 3 Pokemon out, but you rotate between them every turn. you and your opponent both get the chance to rotate before using an attack.
I mean, thankfully, none of these are. Also, they were version exclusive.
Yeah, which one had which
Black
battle?
had rotation battles.
Yeah, yeah. There were rotation battles in black and triple battles in white.
It's, yeah. Thankfully, these were optional.
Could you do online battles with those battle types in Gen 5?
I'm not sure.
If you could, then that might be the only way to see the other battle type in your version. I do know in Gen 6 and onwards you could. In Gen 6 you could.
Yeah,
that's really the only gimmick I could think of for Gen 5.
And this is everything fucking changed. And of course, everything changed in 2013.
Because Generation 6 decided to introduce the first gimmick that affected specific species of Pokemon.
Well, I mean, there were other battle gimmicks involved.
Form changes were kind of like that, I guess. But it was more worked into the Pokemon's design and stuff.
Yeah.
This was something that only specific species of Pokemon could do, and others could not. And rather than being part of the integral design of the Pokemon, it was added on later.
You know what we're talking about.
Mega Evolution.
I've definitely talked in length about the problems here.
At face value, the idea seems cool. Some Pokemon can temporarily get a power boost, upping their stats by 100 points total. All for unbattle, until they switch out or faint.
No, not until they switch.
Until they faint.
Yeah.
Or the battle ends.
And
you can only have one Mega per battle.
Yeah, we made an entire video about this a few years ago.
Well, oh, cool. It sounds like a mechanic they could use to give a lot of weaker Pokemon more of a fighting chance. And in some cases, they did do that, like Beedrill and Mawile and Sableye and Lopunny. But in most cases, they made already powerful Pokemon just completely unbalanced and broken.
Such as Lucario. The Kanto and Hoenn starters. Salamence, Garchomp, Tyranitar.
We'll save those for last. Gyarados.
No one was asking for that.
Gardevoir and Glade.
Absol.
Aggron.
Oh god. It lost the rock type.
And most glaring of all, the two most glaring groups of all, Tyranitar, Salamence, Metagross, and Garchomp. Yeah, pseudo-legendaries, and their Megas had base 700 stat totals. Those which make them stronger than almost every non-Mega, non-legendary Pokemon in existence.
Oh wait, did you just say... Oh wait.
Which made them stronger than every Pokemon in existence except for Arceus. But and then there were the ones that were stronger than Arceus, because Mewtwo and Rayquaza got Mega Evolutions too. Did I mention Mewtwo got 2 of them?
Yeah.
So did Charizard. Because one, they wanted to be faithful to the design, and the other one, they wanted to make it a dragon for fan service.
So people would shut up. Oh wait, then they gave the Eon Duo. What the Eon Duo?
Oh yeah, and Latios and Latios also got them.
And Diancie.
Hey, which had the same power as the pseudo-legends. Yeah, there are 10 Mega Evolutions whose stat totals are 100 or 700 or higher.
Yeah, that's too much. That is way too high.
If they had outclassed other legendaries, is by far. Or what would be the point to using something like? What would be the point to ever using something like Tornadus when Rayquaza's stats were like 200 points higher than it?
Worst part about Rayquaza,
and add insult to injury, Rayquaza's Mega Evolution doesn't take up an item slot like every other Mega.
Yeah.
And you're free to give it whatever you want.
Yeah.
Up to hold.
So you can give it a fucking in choice. So you're like a fucking choice band.
And then make it basically one-shot every single Pokemon it fights.
It's also its weaknesses are neutralized.
Also, it takes damage as a pure Dragon type. So you can't just one-shot it with Ice Beam anymore.
Or yeah, it's. I mean, there was also Primal Reversion.
But only Kyogre and Groudon.
It's basically Mega Evolution.
Which is basically Mega Evolution. Were they also 100 boosts? Or
yeah, also 100.
Which were literally just Mega
They were
Evolution.
Mega just with a different item.
With a different name and item type.
That's it.
And only Kyogre and Groudon could do it.
Albeit they were absolutely disgusting as well.
Oh, they also didn't change the design significantly.
They had Perma Weather.
Or rain and sun that never disappeared.
And also blocked out.
And the rain blocked out fire types, and the sun blocked out water types. The moves, not the Pokemon.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, this was clear. This was a very clear mistake.
That absolutely. That created an extreme bottleneck of the same few Pokemon being the only good ones.
Yeah.
Before you could see a vast amount of diversity in what Pokemon were seen, and now everyone has one of the same few Megas on their team.
Yeah. You're literally handed free Megas.
It was in the game. Why wouldn't you use them?
And Orez, you're handed a free Mega Legendary halfway through the game.
Hey, you'd have to be an idiot to not use that, unless you had your team already filled up.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's just, yeah, why? Yeah, thing is, yeah, Mega Evolution was more of a popularity pull.
Yeah. What it boiled down to is that they gave it to they made popular Pokemon stronger as opposed to buffing weaker ones.
Yeah.
The idea could have been done well, but the way they handled it was terrible.
I think I wrote down only about 10 or so
Pokemon actually got legitimately needed a buff.
Albeit I think they might have went a little overboard with Mawwiles.
Okay, yeah, Mawile, I don't think it needed huge power.
Having over 100 attack is already enough.
That's the rare case of a Pokemon going from absolute garbage to overpowered.
Oh wait, Mega Evolution wasn't the only gimmick Gen 6 had.
Mm-hmm.
There was inverse battles.
Inverse battles were actually really cool. They inverted the type effectiveness.
Just really underutilized.
Unfortunately, they're only in Wi-Fi battles and one single player battle in the entire game that you can rematch daily.
Yeah.
With a different set of Pokemon.
Yeah.
I don't know why they chose to use Sky battles over this.
They prioritize. Why? Why is this a thing?
Why do they even exist? Like, I can't think of one good reason that Sky battles exist. The only explanation is that they were created in the games as an afterthought and were meant for the manga and anime instead.
Yeah.
But they didn't want this entire feature or prominent feature in those other or supplementary medias us to just not exist in the games.
Oh wait, meanwhile the anime introduces a whole new idea. Yeah.
You're talking about Battle Bond?
I'm talking about showcases.
Showcases?
The anime introduces
Isn't that basically just contests, but it's...
I think but still Sky battles, there are 9 total.
9 in the entire game. And they make it so you can only use specific flying type Pokemon or Pokemon with Levitate. And there's probably a couple other oddballs that don't fit either of those categories. And also not every flying type or Levitator can participate in them.
No, because they decided to make every flying type that participated.
They'd have the exact same type of animation where they just statically hover in the air with their wings flapping. Or just glide without actually moving their body parts.
Yeah,
arts in cases like Xatu and Skarmory.
Xatu is a fucking totem. It's not supposed. It's supposed to be.
Did they revert Xatu?
No.
Whoever?
Nope.
Nope. Xatu still is stuck with this stupid gliding animation that completely contradicts the design of it.
There ain't stuff like.
And just because so Sky Battle, or there could be 9 Sky Battles in X and Y.
Right. Nice.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And also, depending on how you're building your team, you might not even be able to participate in them.
Yeah.
Like, say you're doing a monotype team, which Noah's done plenty of, and you have a team of grass types, and none of those grass types have levitate, none of them can fly, none of them can participate in sky battles. So those trainers just will not let you battle them at all.
Yeah.
And that mechanic goes completely ignored for your game, your playthrough.
Yep. And also
at that point, why add them at all?
Also, if you lose one, you have to go back. You have to heal the Pokemon on that fainted.
I guess it's better than blacking out, but in another way, it's more annoying.
And so you gotta run back to the Pokemon.
You gotta go back to the Pokemon Center manually.
I don't get it. Why was they?
I still, to this day, do not understand Sky Battles.
What?
Nobody talks about this. Nobody complains about this. I'm sure. I understand why nobody brings it up. But why does nobody talk about how dumb this was?
This was literally a waste of resources. This was a worthless addition.
X and Y would have been basically exactly the same games if Sky Battles weren't there.
They wasted time.
They wasted actual development time on this.
They fucking they made a bunch of flying types look stupid in the process.
They animated wing flaps for tons of flying types. They added a new background and trainer class dedicated to this. They programmed in a filter that decides which Pokemon can participate.
Also, they're definitely not good. It's definitely not good when you only have one flying type on your team.
Even you're forced to solo these battles because most people who have a good sense of building a balanced team will only have one flying type. So most people will be soloing these battles. Well, the only proper way to get the most out of Sky Battles is to do a mono flying run. That's such an oddly specific circumstance. How many people do mono flying runs? I mean, I'm sure there are some people, but not a lot. Why do we need this entire mechanic that only works the way it's intended for that small percentage of people? And the rest of people get a very awkward and out of place mechanic.
Yeah. I don't know.
Anyways, we spent way too much time talking about Sky Battles.
Longer than we did about Mega Evolution.
Because it's just so baffling.
So, yep, come Gen 7.
We got Z moves. These, in my opinion, were a much more balanced feature than Mega Evolutions.
Except...
And because every Pokemon could utilize them. But what?
It doesn't help with any viability. It doesn't make anything better or worse.
It's just a passive ability all Pokemon can do, and they all get the same amount of benefit from it, so it doesn't rebalance anything.
Except for the exclusive Z moves for some reason they made for some reason.
Because, of course, they had to have species-specific move.
Completely going against the entire idea
that every Pokemon can do it. Which is the main complaint against Mega Evolution. Look, I understand that they didn't want to add a new stage to every single existing evolutionary line. There are hundreds of them.
Especially since there are a lot of 3 stages is around.
And plus, how would you give a Mega Evolution into something in like Arceus or Pokemon with multiple forms like Keldeo? But Z moves. Yes, every Pokemon could use them, but there were specific Z moves that only certain Pokemon could use.
Like sort of around 20.
Any of them. And all of them were for Generation 1 and 7 Pokemon.
Yeah.
All of them were either new Pokemon introduced in that generation or Kanto Pokemon.
Because of course they were.
I don't believe there was a single other Pokemon from any other generation that got a Z move.
Nope.
And that's just absurd.
So what did they do with Mega Evolution in Gen 7?
It's just a post-game footnote.
Throw it into the post. You remember these guys?
I use Dexio and Cena from X and Y. Yeah, they just give you Mega Evolution.
Fight Dexio with his Mega Alakazam, and then he gives you a Keystone.
And that's it. That's
where do you buy the Mega Stones?
Oh, you have to grind BP in the battle tree for it.
In the original, it was only the ones on Dex, and they released them. They released passwords.
Or the ones that were off Dex. In Ultra, you could straight up buy every Mega Stone.
All of them.
Oh, and in the entire game.
Could it have hurt to have these scattered throughout the region? Also, you get the Diancie from by showing someone a Diancie.
Is it that difficult to have NPCs hand them to you, or just lay them on the ground in places you're not allowed to access to till post game? Like, they could have had, like, the cave in Pony Island with Zygarde.
Yeah.
They could have just had that cave be, like, Mega Stone Cave or something, and all the Mega Stones were scattered throughout that location.
I mean, they shoved the fucking Creation Trio orbs in there, and I don't see what harm it's doing.
Yeah, it could have, like, the lore that this is where Mega Stones form for whatever reason.
Oh yeah, there was also another battle gimmick in being SOS battles.
Which, okay, those were actually pretty cool. They allowed you to, they gave you...
Except for when you're trying to catch the Pokemon, and then it calls for help.
You can disable it with a status condition.
Oh, right. And you just try... Or just keep... Yeah.
The Pokemon will never call for help if they're inflicted with a status condition.
Uh-huh. That's still annoying.
And it also means you can't just use Thunder Wave on an electric or ground type.
Yeah.
And you have to go for temporary or damaging status conditions for those.
It's like burn poison or sleep.
Burn poison and sleep.
For free is.
But you can't freeze a Pokemon without damaging it.
Yeah. So. Triple battles and also rotation battles were just fucking removed.
They're not in this game.
And for hardware reasons, probably.
Because sometimes double battles make a Gen 7 and lag on older or DS.
Even on
the newer ones sometimes with more complex Pokemon.
I'm just... Oh yeah, Sky Battles? Oh, those are gone.
Too.
Inverse Battles?
Also gone.
Yeah, yeah, that was such a... Yeah, what a waste of effort, what a waste of resources.
Mm-hmm.
As in programming. You just why?
Mm-hmm.
So wait, what about as for Let's Go?
Nothing really have a gimmick other than go like catching.
Its whole game was how did it handle Mega Evolution?
After you have 7 badges, Professor Oak gives you a key or E-Stone that lets you Mega Evolve every Pokemon.
But you only get the starter ones for free. And the Mewtwo...
the starter and Mewtwo ones for free.
Yeah. Where do you get that? At the rest?
You have to buy them.
And they're expensive. And they're like 10,000...
they're 10,000 each.
Each... Come on, you really can't. That's the problem. Now you're starting to see why Mega Evolution and went away in Gen 8.
Yeah. And in Generation, yeah. What I was just saying.
Yeah.
Mega Evolution in Generation 8, Mega Evolution Z moves, they're not here. They're just gone.
Yeah. The Z moves I can kind of understand.
And those are very specific to the lore of Alola. But we've had 3 previous regions where Mega Evolution's there.
So what possible reason could they? What possible reason could they have to remove Mega Evolution?
Dynamaxing.
What does it do?
It makes the Pokemon giant, turns all their moves into generic type moves. It'll preset effects.
And their HP is
and their HP is increased depending on your Dynamax level.
Oh yeah, Dynamax level was a thing. They made a specific item
to increase each Dynamax level, though. Like, I mean, like they're so easy to get. Why even have the feature at all?
Oh, you just buy these from vendors?
No.
Oh,
but you get like several of them
from doing max
ray. And it's just by doing a few max rays, it's not hard to max out the Dynamax levels of your entire team.
And so, oh yeah, everyone can do it, except oh wait, there are more.
There are also species-specific Dynamax forms called Gigantamax forms.
You won't actually find one of these
in the main story, unless there's a special event going on, because they're ridiculously rare.
Or you have the expansion pass.
Yeah. If you're just playing base, no DLC, Sword and Shield,
you don't get.
You're not gonna just stumble upon a Gigantamax Pokemon, because they're extremely rare encounters, because they each take up 1 slot in the rare category of a specific den. And so unless you're insanely lucky, or you come across...
Or there's an event
going on, you probably won't encounter a Gigantamax Pokemon throughout the entire main story. He might not even and get a chance to use one at all until a free Charmander in the post-game.
Yeah, of course, Charmander was the fucking G-Max thing. Also, what's the selection?
It's only Kanto and Galar.
Yeah, only Gen 1 and current and new Pokemon.
With the odd exception of Garbodor of all Pokemon.
And Melmetal.
With the odd exception of Garbodor and Melmetal. Melmetal for promotion, for Pokemon Go promotion.
If you have, yeah, you can't even, you can only obtain that one. You can only get that one if you have.
Yeah, Melmetal is cross promotion for Pokemon Go, and Garbodor for literally I don't know why. It just has a Mega Evolution, and we kind of have
to. Has a Gigantamax.
No, it just has a Gigantamax form, and we kind of have to live with that.
Okay. Hey, so I think Dynamax is the biggest reason I wanted to make this. So, all right.
And the thing with these recent gimmicks, they always get shoehorned into the plot of the game. You don't need to. You don't need to have a specific gimmick to drive your entire story.
That is Dynamaxing.
And that's how you make someone sick of this gimmick and never want it to return again.
And oh yeah, Z moves were shoved in your face.
As constantly.
Mega Evolution
wasn't. Thankfully, didn't actually contribute. To
I think that might have been a problem because it was barely in the story.
Ian didn't make. Ian, they didn't really explain it very well. No, it was just a side plot in X and Y.
Alright, Z moves were shoved in your face.
And Dynamaxing is really shoved in your face.
So it like ties to the lore of the legendaries and all that.
The entire plot of the game revolves around it.
That's that's the new. Yeah, it's literally used in Gems. It's just so yeah that there are about 20 or so new G-Max forms in the base game. How about Isle of Armor?
And Isle of Armor introduced 5 more. Introduced 4 more.
Those being
in the other 2 Kanto starters and Urshifu.
Oh, and your starter.
Introduced 7 more. Or Crown Tundra didn't introduce any new G-Max forms.
That's a little concerning. Also, there's literally an
Which
area...
heavily implies that aside from Urshifu, all of the other starter Gmax forms were meant to be in the main game.
Not Dynamax is his starter...
Not Gigantamax, is it?
Which, that was actually changed into the Star Tournament.
And if you have of the DLC, that adds those to the game, which clearly shows that that's what was intended to be. It was intended
You have
to
to have the DLC.
Yeah.
For that, yeah. Yeah, which, yeah, it was clearly meant to be... Now, instead of Gmax's Corviknight, I can rematch it as...
Even though Corviknight isn't even something he's had since the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
It's just some random team member that you wouldn't specifically associate with him otherwise.
Yes, it's very weird. Yeah, it's very... yeah, it's very clear, though. And, you know, Charizard getting a Gigantamax form, but Venusaur and Blastoise don't. They're not even in you can't even... They're not even obtained in game.
Can you fucking believe that?
Yeah. They're not on the regional decks.
That's so dumb.
Yeah, I think... so...
Only one of the Kanto starters is obtainable without DLC, and it's fucking Charizard.
Yeah, because of fucking course. Charizard has 2 Megas and the Gmax.
Excellent. Thankfully, the other Kanto starters did get Gmaxes, but those are locked behind a paywall. All were added later than the others. Later than Charizard.
Also, yeah, about Urshifu...
Charizard got it for free and is something every player can access.
Also, Urshifu had a whole quest involving in Gigantamaxing it, but actually...
You don't even need to do it because
finish the story.
Because if you release your Cubfruit and delete it from your file, you can just skip the event entirely.
Or, no. No, you can just... or you don't even if you do it, you don't actually have to Gigantamax it.
You just have to get the item to Gigantamax.
You just have to get the honey, and then you can finish the story. Or you can fight Mustard. Or that's... I think it started... warning signs and started to show with Crown Tundra about Dynamaxing.
Yeah.
It's only they made an entire area for it, and there are no new ones at all.
In my opinion, it's refreshing to not have Dynamaxing shoved in your face the entirety of the Crown Tundra. A storyline.
And because, yeah, it can... Because
it lets it have its own identity. And that's the kind of approach. If you want a gimmick, just have some minor lore dialogue related to it, but don't make it the center point of the story.
So, why do I bring up Dynamaxing being very lacking in Crown Tundra? These two games coming out.
Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. And Pokemon Legends Arceus.
There's no Dynamaxing at all. There doesn't seem to be any Dynamaxing at all. That's pathetic.
This gimmick lasted for one game.
One game. Why was this? They wasted, again, a waste of resources. Is just gonna have something to show in the market. I don't think I was very impressed with that's when I first saw Dynamaxing either. Wow, big Pokemon.
Yeah.
On very, very original. Oh, really?
What's next? Gen 9 has tiny Pokemon.
Minamaxing.
With half HP, but increased speed and evasion.
No. Also, yeah, sure, I know. There's probably a reason why Dynamaxing isn't in the Sinnoh games. It's because they're specifically particles.
That exist in the Galar region.
Or they're more of Eternatus particles.
And the Eternatus was associated specifically with Galar.
Or it's just... so, of course it wouldn't be there. Or God knows what they would have done had they shoved in Dynamaxing in BDSP. God knows what they would have suddenly done. What would have been shoehorned in.
Hopefully, Generation 9 doesn't have a gimmick that they shove in your face constantly and base the entire story and marketing of the game around.
Just please.
We don't need a dumb gimmick for every single new game.
And especially if it's just going to be discarded
In the very next one.
Yeah, not even the next generation.
The next games.
God, that is... Wow, that... Yeah, Dynamaxing... Yep, Mega Evolution lasted at least 2 generations. And there are 5 games total. Well, Z-Moves lasted 2 games. Dynamaxing lasted 1. And that is horrible.
Mega Evolution was a great concept with poor execution. Dynamaxing was the was very similar. An interesting concept, but they went way too far with it.
You know, I don't think we mentioned regional variants as a gimmick.
Or regional variants. Those just feel normal now.
They feel...
That's the example.
It started as a gimmick. It clearly started as a gimmick.
But now it's just standard.
And
it's a good one.
Generation 8, Final 8 actually expanded on it.
With specific evolutions is dedicated to these new forms.
To make some of these Pokemon actually good.
Which is much better than Mega Evolution. Because these Pokemon can be added as in-game trades in future generations, and without having to keep an archaic mechanic that can try to find a way to jam it into the game.
Yeah, stuff like Obstagoon, Cursula.
If you want to have Obstagoon and Cursula return in future games, just have an NPC that can trade a York Ursula or Zigzagoon for the regional variant.
Yeah, other stuff like Berserker
or alternate stat. That takes like Berserker that make it so you don't have to completely change the stats of Persian and to get me out the usable evolution.
And that's actually does a lot of damage.
Regional variants are what I hope. Future gimmicks.
So far, they have actually lasted the longest
out of any of these recent gimmicks.
Modern gimmicks.
Having not still being something that's being added even into Legends Arceus.
Yes, even with evolution,
even with the new evolutions, and for Pokemon like Scyther, Basculin,
and Stantler, This is the gimmick that has lasted the longest, and it's probably here to stay.
Hey, this is the kind of thing I want to be what they focus on.
Not dumb battle gimmicks that are forced onto you, or just a stuff for one game.
Just a subtle new concept that allows for more creativity without railroading in the way the games are designed.
Yeah, it's kind of like how regional variants feel like something from earlier gens.
And they feel completely natural in the world of Pokemon.
Yeah, these
and make a complete sense in universe.
These three just don't. Don't have so many.
We went from the sci-fi somewhat magic of Generation 1 on eventually we got more mystical and magic-y. And a lot of Pokemon it feels like it has a very different vibe.
Yeah.
Your games now.
Yeah, they were more
like instead of just being like a sort of slice of life world adventure, or they always try to tell these grand tales that put the player in as the central hero in this epic story. And it's just not necessary, really.
That's not. It wouldn't hurt to have
something simple
like the classic era. I don't need have the plot be non-existent and like that era. But
it could just be a simple villain gang, and he's doing bad stuff for money, and
just have a bunch of petty jerks.
So you follow them up and beat them up, and people think you're cool for that.
Also, serious. Yeah, you know, you're not jerked off the whole game.
And God, the amount of amount of times the player and they try to stroke the player's ego in Gen 7 is infuriating. It's still even present in Sword and Shield, but even if it is downplayed a bit.
Yeah. Oh shit, we're talking about story again.
Sorry, this got way off topic.
But anyways, funny, this is just how. I guess this is basically what I want a new game to have. No dumb gimmicks that.
That are forced into your face.
It's sort of actively, isn't just a much simpler story.
That doesn't feel like, like it's trying to be something it wasn't supposed to be.
Yeah. That's really all that's really all that's probably all it takes.
Obviously, there are other factors
such as time.
We haven't talked about specific gameplay
and shit.
Your content, or the actual main content, and amount and quantity of stuff to do, and quality of stuff to do in the games.
Who knows? Maybe that might be that might be another idea or video idea.
Yeah, we're just talking about how the structure and the makeup, the things that are in these games.
These gimmicks are actually becoming a detriment and
to the design structure of the franchise.
And actively wasting time.
We'd have a much fuller game if they didn't try to include an entirely new battle or gimmick every single generation, and that they have to staple onto every aspect of the game.
It's just, I think we've gone on enough.
Yeah.
About why this is a problem. But anyways, yeah.
What did you think? What did you say our next video idea was going to be?
A video about a Let's Go sequel.
Okay.
On what problems it would present, and the problems it would bring, it presents.
Yeah, that seems cool. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow.
Yeah. All right. So, anyways, I'm Nozarin.
And I'm Amory.
And bonjour, my
wonderful viewers. See you in the next video.
Yeet.